I'm Steve Wiggins, and this is the Groundworks Ministries podcast. Today we're reading from the book of 2 Chronicles, chapter 16. So let's focus on verses 7 through 10. And at that time, Hanani the seer came to Asa, king of Judah, and said to him, "Because you have relied on the king of Syria, and have not relied on the Lord your God, therefore the army of the king of Syria has escaped from your hand. Were the Ethiopians and the Lubim not a huge army with very many chariots and horsemen? And yet, because you relied on the Lord, he delivered them into your hand? For the eyes of the Lord run to and fro throughout the whole earth, to show himself strong on behalf of those whose heart is loyal to him. In this you have done foolishly. Therefore, from now on, you shall have wars." And then Asa was angry with the seer, and he put him in prison, for he was enraged at him because of this. And Asa oppressed some of the people at that time. You know, we live in an era where the growing sentiment among the general population is to rely on government to provide for us. And more people believe it is the government's responsibility to ensure our health care, a college education, higher wages, and an overall good well-being. Well, this idea of entitlement is very attractive because it takes away the responsibility for us to be personally accountable, to actually work. And we would rather be corporate consumers than individual contributors to the bottom line. But a problem arises whenever we place our trust in politicians to be our providers. And if that is to be the case, then we need our politicians at least to seek the Lord. But wouldn't it just be better if we simply skip the middleman and seek the Lord's provision ourselves? And we should be people of integrity who labor with integrity because we seek the word of the Lord. And this problem isn't new. Judah was struggling with it in today's chapter. Their king just decided to quit seeking God. And perhaps it was because they themselves, in 2 Chronicles chapter 15, they stopped seeking him. So in today's chapter, we see the exact scenario as yesterday. Judah was in distress and on the verge of being wiped out by war. Aren't we getting sick of this? In chapter 15, the prophet exhorts the king with God's word. He reminds Asa of God's promise. And the prophet strengthened the king with the remembrance of God's abiding presence and his love for his people. It is the same idea conveyed by David as he was running from his life from King Saul. Psalm 23, verse 4, "Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me." It was the same message that King David used to exhort the people of Israel whenever they were threatened by foreign armies. Psalm 20, verse 7, "Some trust in chariots and some in horses, but we will remember the name of the Lord our God." Asa chose wisely in chapter 15. But by chapter 16, King Asa reasoned that he did not need to consult God. Instead, Asa chose to trust a foreign army. He should have remembered the words of his patriarch David in 2 Samuel chapter 24, verse 14. And David said to Gad, "I am in great distress. Please let us fall into the hand of the Lord, for his mercies are great, and do not let me fall into the hand of men." Let's remember this as we go through today. I'm Steve Wiggins, and this is the Groundworks Ministries podcast. Groundworks Ministries operates entirely through financial donations from faithful people like you. Your giving to Groundworks Ministries transforms lives. Would you consider making a donation to Groundworks Ministries today? because we need your monthly support now more than ever. And donating is secure and it's easy at our website, groundworksministries.com. You know, another way is to help us is to tell people about Groundworks Ministries. Share these podcasts with your friends and family and on your social media. And of course, you can always direct folks back to our website, groundworksministries.com.